Look, so I've been telling you guys for a while now that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, as they call it, is a scam. And there should have already been red flags in your mind because it's weird to call something a department of the U.S. government when it's not, right? Like, that's weird. Who else can do that, right? Can I just make up a department and be like, oh, I have power now? No, that's not how. Everybody laugh you out of the room, right? But the world's richest robber baron does it, and everybody goes, yeah, oh, I guess. Like, what are we talking about here? So it's not a department, never approved at any level. He's got a bunch of 19-year-old pilled-up groypers working for him with sketchy backgrounds, to say the least. And he's illegally hacking in, Elon is, to our government agencies and do whatever the fuck he wants. Stealing data, stealing social security numbers, deleting regulatory agencies, etc. Well, guess what? We just got example number 7,412 that DOGE is a scam. That's what it is. It's a scam. So look at this. DOGE claims to have saved $55 billion. Wall Street Journal is able to find $2.6 billion over a multi-year period. They claim to save $55 billion. The actual number is $2.6 billion. Now, by the way, I have to add, all of this is illegal. So really, legally, constitutionally, they've saved $0. Zero. Because they're in no position to do this. Okay? But they claim $55 billion. The reality is $2.6 billion. Now, also, I should point out, everybody covered this the other day. One of the contracts that they said, oh, we canceled this contract and we saved all this money. They said at the bottom, oh, we saved $8 billion from this. You look at the specifics of the contract. No, they didn't. They saved $800 million. Was it $800 million or $8 million? I think it was $8 million. You're immensely off. It was $8 million they saved, and they claim they saved $8 billion. And then, by the way, when people called that out, like, hey, like you misread it or whatever, they went back and changed the contract to match the bigger fake number they gave and said, nope, it was $8 billion. I mean, at this point, this is just humiliating, right? This is just humiliating. It's humiliating. These are all crimes. They're crimes, but it's also humiliating. The Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency touts cuts of $55 billion in federal spending, often citing canceled DEI and climate contracts. By the way, when they say climate, they always say like, oh, we canceled the Green New Deal. There never was a Green New Deal. It never passed. It never passed. It never even got, it didn't even it gets through the House, but it fails in the Senate. No, it didn't pass anywhere, bro. Oh my God. A Wall Street Journal analysis of government contract data showed a much different picture. Woke cuts were a tiny fraction of the total, and many claims of savings were overstated. While DOGE hasn't offered details about all of the stated savings, it has posted a list of more than 1,100 canceled contracts to its website. As of Friday, it said the savings from these contracts amounted to $7 billion. The journal analysis projects the actual savings could be closer to $2.6 billion over the next year if spending levels remain consistent. And about 2% of the funds would have gone to contracts related to DEI. So they say, bro, we cut $55 billion and it's all like DEI stuff and climate stuff. And then they look at it and they're like, it's not $55 billion, it's $2 billion. And only 2% of the stuff you're cutting is related to DEI. Like, these are not serious people. These are not, I mean, they are, because they're literally hijacking the government in an illegal coup, but they're also not serious people. They're fucking idiots. Research-focused agencies were among the top targets for cuts. Oh, that's great. Including the Education Department and the Department of Health and Human Services, where DOGE terminated contracts costing the government more than $900 million last year. DOGE terminated more than 60 Health and Human Services contracts, including a clinical evaluation of an Alzheimer's and traumatic brain injury drug and a study of smokers with chronic lung disease. DOGE described these as administrative expenses. So they can't cancel an Alzheimer's drug for research and traumatic brain injury drug, and they go, that's all right, fuck it, these are just administrative expenses. No, they're not. Oh my God. An administration official said many contracts were canceled for waste, fraud, and abuse. They added that DOGE's estimations of its savings are conservative. How can you say that? And that no funds for Alzheimer's were canceled, so they lied. Many of the education department's canceled contracts funded research on college costs, student career paths, and early childhood development. DOGE said one $1.4 million contract funded mailing and clerical operations. The contract was used to mail surveys to respondents participating in studies and was nearly complete when canceled, creating no savings for terminating it. Oh my God. Again, I want to reiterate, literally none of this is legal. None of this is legal. In fact, we talked about this before, but we have an approved way. The government has an approved way to go after waste, fraud, and abuse. We have the inspectors general who do that. By the way, Trump fired them. He fired them. In his first week, he fired them. So much for caring about waste, fraud, and abuse. And we also have the GAO, the Government Accountability Office. And according to that agency, they found that anywhere from 3% to 7% of the federal budget is fraudulent. But that's their job. They take care of that. And they found in Social Security in particular was 0.84%. But the fact of the matter is, the inspectors general and the GAO, this is their job. Trump and Elon are pretending like there are no agencies, there are no individuals who go after waste, fraud, and abuse. And then they go in there and they cut whatever the fuck they want to cut. It has nothing to do with waste, fraud, and abuse. And they virtue signal and pretend we're only going after the waste, fraud, and abuse as we cut child cancer research, as we cut flight safety officials, as we cut the Department of Education, as we cut an Alzheimer's drug. More on DOGE's lies. Wall Street Journal investigated and found only $2.6 billion in cuts, with only 2% coming from DEI. The largest category was research that neither Musk nor his hacker boys understand, into Alzheimer's, brain injuries, education, etc. It's a mendacious and stupid kakistocracy. And here's the graphic that sort of shows where the so-called cuts are coming from. Again, in a world that made sense, where the rules and the laws and the processes mattered, Elon would have been arrested. This first day, he stepped foot in the Treasury and illegally hacked in to our Treasury programs, where the acting Treasury Secretary said, I'm not letting you do this. And then they put the clamps on him and he said, all right, I'll resign because I'm going to have nothing to do with this. So Elon illegally hacks into the Treasury, takes everybody's data, sets up private servers to steal everybody's information, deletes the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, goes after USAID, goes after all these different programs. That day one, Elon should have been arrested. Day one. He wasn't, and now here we are. Right? But understand something. Even though it's all illegal, even though it's all unconstitutional, when you actually go through what they're doing with their own so-called receipts, you find out they're like, everything's a scam, everything's a fraud, everything's a lie. The stuff they're cutting is stuff nobody would want them to cut. Right? And this is abysmal. I mean, what else is there to say? This is abysmal. They should all be arrested. If you're not going to arrest Elon, at the very least, go after his 19-year-olds and 21-year-olds who are hacking in there illegally with no classified clearance, right? No background check whatsoever. And they're getting it. They got into the energy department, which has our nuclear information. And one of the guys who did it was fired from a company because he was giving away the secret information to another company. This is who's hacking around into our nuclear program. Like, what are we talking about here? You know, I was somebody who believed there was a deep state for a long time, but you know what? Looking at what's going on now and the lack of fighting back against it, I'm not so sure there is a deep state. Because everybody's just sort of sheepishly sitting back and letting the world's richest robber baron commit crime after crime day after day. So here we are. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.